いいですね。そう思いました。
The majority of living people. Really, they regard it sort of blank non-existence. The advancing present will presently write events. Doing finger writes and having writ, gone. A modern sort of person, creative, organizing, or things have been the legal mind. We are here. Are here because hope, some forward-looking, more and more company. In bygone times, people had no more than the barest glimmerings of visiting either the future or them occurred to wasn't in the repertoire. Rare. The railroads came. To find arguable cases of atrocious travel. Mahabharat, the epic, ascends to the heavens to meet Brahma. Finds upon the past. Everyone he knew is dead. Ancient Japanese fisherman, Shima Taro, into the future by journeying far from home. Wise Rip Van Winkle could be said to have accomplished time travel. Also, time travel by mesmerism. 19th century literature includes one instance of time travel by described odd-looking MS, found up in a jug floating in an imaginary sea, during the dateline, Ford Balloon Skylark, 1/848.
Ready for more?
Aficionados have scoured the attics and basements of literary history for other examples. Travelish producers. 1833, an Irish clergyman, Samuel Madden, wrote a book called Wars of the 20th Century. Anti-Catholic diatribe in the form of letters from British officials 200 years hence. The 20th century, as imagined by Madden, resembles his own time in every respect, except that Jesuits have taken over the world. It was unreadable in 1733. He destroyed almost all of the 1,000 copies himself.
Wouldn't want to pass up a shot of this. Can I?
Contrast. Utopian vision titled 2440. Sire,
maybe later. Oh, okay. But don't forget.
Dream, if there ever was one. A sensational bestseller in pre-revolutionary France. It's a utopian fantasy published in 1771. Louis-Sébastien Mercier.
I might have asked before, but is everything really all that good?
I might have answered before, but yes it is.
Mercier in the category of Sans Ruisseau. Rousseau's. The narrator dreams that he is awakened from a long sleep and acquired wrinkles, large nose, 700 years old, to discover the purpose of the future. New? And changed. Wear loose clothes, comfortable shoes, odd caps. Animal mores have changed.
Where do we go from here?
Fees and taxes have been abolished. Society up as prostitutes and monks. Quality, reason. No. All, as Darnton points out, community of citizens, eradicated despotism. Imagining the future, he says, Peter could also see what the present would look like to become the past. Mercier, who believed that the Earth was a flat plane under an orbiting sun, looking toward the year 2440 so much as the year 1789. Revolution came, declared himself to have
that
been
might be the oldest elevator I've ever seen.
a vision of the future, a utopian in its way, appeared in
It's up and
1892,
running.
Going down.
titled
Are you sure this thing
Year
can hold all of us at
2004.
the same time?
Are We Coming To? Scottish golfer named Jay McCullough, name lost in the mists. Story begins, narrator, endured a day of bad golf and hot whiskeys, into a trance. Begins wearing a heavy beard. He solemnly tells him the
Overboard,
date,
huh?
What?
This
Fredo can't take our
referred
weight.
to a pocket
More likely
almanac
to
as he
become
spoke.
stuck.
I can live with stuck.
25th of March,
Thing's been around a
2000.
while.
Can only guess when they began mining here.
2000
You know
has
what sort of place
advanced
this is?
pocket
The sort
almanacs.
that's infested with bloodthirsty demons.
Lights.
Am I warm?
Red hot, I
Suspects,
say.
though, the golfer from 1892 discovers that the world evolved while he slept.
All the way to hell.
For 2000, women dress like men and do all the work. Men are freed.
We could
Golf
always take it down
day.
deeper.
Bit of a shot
Travel
in the
by
dark, don't
hibernation.
you think?
And sleep. For Washington Irving in Rip Van Winkle. For Woody Allen in his 1973
It's
remake.
quiet. Too quiet.
Baddies could
One's
bounce
hero
any-
is Rip
track's
Van
laid
Winkle
out
with
for
a
us.
modern set
Is
of
this-
neuroses.
A minecart?
See
That's
my
how they
analyst in
shipped out
200
whatever
years.
they dug up.
Strict Freudian.
Whoa!
Been going all
Anyone
this
hear that
time,
rumor?
I'd probably
Something's coming
almost be
towards us.
cured by now.
Whatever it is, it's moving pretty damn
Dream or a
fast.
nightmare.
From behind! Look
Open your eyes to find your contemporaries all dead.
I doubt the cart started rolling on its own.
Himself defensive with the machinery in the 1910 novel, Keeper Awakes. Also the first time travel fantasy to discover the benefits of compounding.
It comes around.
Breathe easier once we put them out.
Looking into the future is what we do every night. So close, years younger than Wells and 200 miles away. Place heightened to the awareness of time, like in the bedchamber. Keeper frees himself from time, outside of time. Breath inside.
Creepy crawlies.
Every man holds in a circle around him the sequence of the
As for
hours,
the wicked,
order of the years and worlds. Consults them instinctively as he wakes
And
and
on we
reads
go.
in a
We ran out of
second
road.
on the
nowhere else
earth
to
he
go but
occupies,
back.
that has elapsed before his waking. Ranks can be mixed up. First minute of his waking, no longer know what time it is. Think he has only just gone to bed. The confusion among the disordered worlds will be complete. The armchair, then traveling at top speed through time and space.
Done here.
Thing that is
Wanna check another floor?
horrible. And Burr rubs his eyes and returns to the present. Machines improved upon magic armchairs. Past years of the 19th century, full technology was impressing itself upon the culture. Industries stirred curiosity about the past as well as the future. Mark created his own version of time travel in 1989. Transported a Connecticut Yankee to the medieval past.
Ramshackle, to say the least.
Yeah.
Didn't worry about
With plenty of
scientific
nooks and crannies
rationalization.
for things to
They
jump out
framed
at
the
you.
story with some highfalutin verbiage. All about transmigration of souls. All about position of ethics.
Say your prayers.
Yankee and King Arthur's court. Means of time travel.
Nothing to it.
Bang on the head. Morgan, he, beamed with a crowbar, awakens in a verdant field. For him sits an armor-clad fellow on a horse,
Enough talk. Time for some action.
stiff red and green silk trappings like a bedquilt.
What comes down must
How
go
far
up.
the Connecticut Yankee has traveled, he discovers in this classic exchange. Or- factory engineer. This is important. It's a new guy and a technophile. Date on the latest inventions. Ding powder and speaking tubes, the graph and the telephone. The author. Well, Clemens installed Alexander Graham Bell's telephone in his home in 1876. It was patented. 2 years before that, acquired an extraordinary writing machine, Remington typewriter. He's the first person in the world to apply the type machine to literature. 18th century saw the steam age and the machine age were in full swing. The road was shrinking the globe, electric light turning night into never-ending day, electric graph annihilating time and space. The newspapers said. This was the true subject, Wayne's Yankee. Contrast of modern technology, agrarian life that came before. Match is both comic and knowledge of astronomy makes the Yankee wizard. Little wizard Merlin is exposed as a humbug.
Be nice to brighten things up in here.
Done in a minute.
Time to spare.
Suspected by this dark land, says. Civilization of the 19th century booming under its very nose.
Feels like we're exploring
that seals
the
his
mind
triumph.
forgotten by time.
This place is so old, I'll be surprised if there isn't treasure here.
20th century bring. Evil might we seem to the proud citizens of that future. Very earlier, 1800 had passed. Special fanfare. Imagine how different the year 1900 might be. First, the century was happening only per the Christian faith, and even so, in 1800, Francis was barely That's still in the throes of its revolution, and on a new calendar of its own. Friends of the Français was the year 9.
None the worse for wear. Bring on the next one.
Republican year had a neat 360 days, divided into months with new names.
Still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
In the year,
Someone's a fan of ventilation.
the indispensable had shortly after being crowned Fairness in general was good.
Never miss!
This one's just
No record of a centennial celebration of anything until 1876. The News, London, reported, America has been of late very much centennialized. The word in use now since the great celebration of this year.
Temper.
Centennials have been got up all over the States. Expression of the century didn't exist 20th. Oh, finally, future becoming an object of interest. Industrialist John Jacob Astor IV, a Romance of the Future, years before the turn of the century, titled Journey in Other Worlds. Forecast myriad technological developments for the year 2000. Electricity, he predicted, replaced animal power for the movement of all vehicles. Vehicles would be fitted with powerful batteries. Enormous high-speed electric phaetons from the globe, gaining speeds as great as 35 to 40 miles an hour on country roads, or 40 these streets. To support these carriages, equipment would be made of half-inch sheets of steel for asphalt. It might be slippery for horses' feet, seriously affect wheels. Photography, wonderfully advanced, longer limited to black and white. Now no difficulty in reproducing exactly the colors of the object taken. Astra's year 2000. Phone wires girdle the earth underground to avoid interference. Telephones can show the face of the speaker. Making has become absolute science. These are manufactured by means of explosions in the upper atmosphere. People can soar through space to visit the planets Jupiter, Saturn, to a newly discovered anti-gravitational force called G. existence the ancients suspected, of which they knew so little. Sound exciting? It seemed probably monotonous. Viewer for the New York Times. A romance of the future, and it is as dull as a romance of the Middle Ages. Astor's fate to go down with the Titanic. Vision of an idealized world, a sort of utopia. This book owed a debt to Edward Bellamy's Looking Backward, American bestseller of 1887. Set in the year 2000. Travel by sea again. Thoreau enters a trance of 113 years. He expressed the frustration of not being able to know the future. Story, Blind Man's World, mentioned that we Earthlings are alone among the universe's intelligent creatures in lacking faculty of foresight. We had eyes only at the backs of our heads. Ignorance of the time of your death impresses us as one of the saddest features of your condition. Mysterious visitor. Backward inspired a wave of utopias, followed by dystopias, are so invariably futuristic. Sometimes forget that the original utopia was more set in the future at all. Utopia, a faraway island. One bothered with the future in 1516 was indistinguishable from the present. Pillars covering remote places and strange peoples. Remote places dwell for speculative authors spinning fantasies. Little Gulliver does not voyage in time. Enough for him to visit Barbie, Dubdrift, Pan. Shakespeare, whose imagination seemed limitless, traveled freely to magical isles and enchanted forests. Not indifferent. Past and present are the same to Shakespeare.
Head back up.
Local clocks strike the hour in Caesar's Rome. Cleopatra plays billiards. I've been amazed by the theatrical time travel Tom Stoppard creates in Arcadia, Indian ink. Together on stage stories that unfold in different eras.
We made it.
Decades
That
apart.
wasn't so bad.
Nothing needs to be said about this, Stoppard writes in a stage direction in Arcadia. The action of the play shuttles back and forth between the early 19th century and the present day. Plays in this same room. Let's move about. Flowers, a tea mug, an oil lamp. Crossing the centuries through an invisible portal.
What?
My hands.
After the play, they have gathered on a table. Electrical solids. Computer.
Let's go.
Yep.
Since when did they run away from us?
Since they learned to lock the door behind them.
Come out and fight! See you as the last
Hannah's research books. Mrs. books. Portfolios. Tina's candlestick. The oil lamp. Leah. The papers. Upward stage. The object. Time travelers. Achieved a temporal sentience that our ancestors
It's
lacked.
locked.
Long in coming. 1900 brought a blaze of self-consciousness about times and dates. The 20th century was rising like a new sun. Century has ever issued from the womb of Advent. Advent has aroused the high expectation, universal hope, at which the midnight litanies and the secular festivals but hence usher in. Editorialist of the Philadelphia Press.
Had enough?
Owned New York Morning Journal declared itself 20th century newspaper, organized an electrical publicity stunt. Asks all citizens of New York to illuminate their homes Monday midnight. Welcome to the 20th century. Festooned City Hall with 2,000 light bulbs in red, white, and blue. President of the City Council addressed a throng. Clock strikes 12. The century will have come to an end. Back upon it as a cycle of time within which the achievements in science
Demons on the prowl.
and civilization, not less than marvelous.
Knox rules!
Nightly Review invited its now famous futurist, 3-year-old H.G. Wells, a series of prophetic essays, interpretations of the reaction of mechanical and scientific progress upon human life and thought. Paris, already calling it fin de siècle, this enfin. Decadence and ennui were the rage. Time came, the French too, forward. English right to have an engine published in France. Wells did not have to wait long. The machine was translated by Henri Devray, recognized an heir to the visionary Jules Verne. Venerable Mercure de France did in 1898, a title that lost something in translation. Machine à explorer le temps. It was not easy to translate. Literature magazine in New York reported in 1899, Mercure de France is about to begin publishing a translation of Mr. Wells's Time Machine. Slater finds the title difficult to put into French. Chronomoteur, chronomobile, siècle à l'heure, machine à explorer le temps. Some of the suggestions.
What do you make of this place?
Really, the avant-garde loved the idea of time travel. Sorry. Was playwright and prankster, an enthusiastic bicyclist. The pseudonym Dr. Fausto, he produced a mock serious construction manual. Terre procédait à la construction de la machine à explorer le temps. His time machine is a bicycle, opening frame and 3 wheelstats, rapidly rotating flywheels, drives, shit boxes. With an ivory handle controls the speed. Jumbo. Worth noting that the machine has tasks. Anterior to our own present, we call the real task. Task created by the machine when it returns to our present, which is, in effect, possibility of the future. Fourth dimension. To explain, the present is non-existent. Any fraction of the phenomenon, more than an atom. The physical size of an atom is known to be 1.5 times 10 to the negative 8 centimeters in diameter. No one has yet measured the fraction of a solar second. He later said he admired Wells's turbo sang-froid, looking to make his mumbo-jumbo so scientific.
Certainly wouldn't be the first time.
The siècle was at hand.
Have a look around.
For year 1900 festivities in Lyon, Gervais, a manufacturer who liked novelties and automata, owned a set of 50 color engravings from a freelance artist named Marc Coté. Images conjure a world of marvels that might exist l'an 2000, boarding in their tiny personal aircraft, soaring in dirigibles, underwater croquet at the bottom of the sea. The best is the schoolroom. Children in knee breeches sit with hands clasped at wooden desks. Teacher feeds books into a grinding machine by a hand crank. The books are pulverized into a residue of information and conveyed by wires up the wall, across the ceiling, on into headsets that cover the pupils' ears. And images have a story of their own. Saw the light of their own time. Sets were run off on the press in the basement of the Gervais factory in 1899 when Gervais died. The factory was shuttered. Contents of that basement remained hidden for the next 25 years. Asian antiques dealers stumbled upon the Gervais inventory in the 20s.
Bingo!
A lot.
Makes the
In a
hassle
single
worthwhile.
proof set of Cote's cards in pristine condition. Them for 50 years. Finally selling them in 1978. Christopher Hyde, Canadian writer who came across his shop on Rue de l'Ancienne Comédie. In turn, them to Isaac Asimov, born scientist and science fiction writer, or editor of, by then, 300 and...
We'll need another key.
The key question is, where do we look?